Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to All Stock Trades. In this video, we're going to go ahead and talk about the long term goal of our stock trades, the platform, and everything we created. Because I was just brainstorming and just looking at just overall the world of finance and how innovation and technology is going to change how things are done, right? And a quote that I recall from a graduation speech was that you can, you know, have an individual who has the best technology out there, right? The best ship in the world, right? We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar ship. But if the person doesn't know how to sail, or if the person just doesn't know how to use this technology, this boat, if there's no captain, then the boat's not going to go anywhere. And I think about this a lot because I do see a lot of platforms out there. One in particular, let's say, for example, Seeking Alpha, and they have all this data, just a splurge of data, just a corpus of just crazy data. But the thing is, and just another example, Bloomberg Terminal, just crazy amounts of data. But if you go at in each and every platform and just look at each and every one, nobody teaches you how to use this data. I mean, you just go out there and look at each and every platform, and nowhere do people show you how to use this data to make money. And it's unfortunate because what it seems to me as, and here's the thing, we're going to see a lot of these businesses pop up now. A lot of these, there's going to be people that are like, wow, there's a lot of people trading. Use my platform, right? And what I've come to realize is it's become a casino, right? We'll give you the vehicle to which you can gamble, right? And give you this gambling mechanism like Robinhood, and go ahead and just have fun with it, right? But no one actually puts an education to it. And, I put this picture up here of Warren Buffett because do you see any computers here? Do you see anything here? I think that's the Intelligent Investor book back there. You don't see no computers. All you see are books. Okay. Books, some of his old businesses, Geico here, maybe some highlighters, some stuff to go over what he was reading, and some potential annual 10K reports maybe in the filing stations here. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't take much to make money on Wall Street. You have to have the brain of a captain and have a certain set of criteria to just get this right. Are we at, do we have artificial intelligence to help us with the financial literacy? Of course. Do we, are we going to integrate more stuff like this that's going to help us expand? Yeah, of course. But it doesn't change the just motor, the wheel, and how one navigates essentially the ocean of Wall Street, right? You use a stock screener to screen for metrics that you believe companies are undervalued, and you have a corpus of stocks that meet the stock screener, you know, metrics. Then you take these stocks and you look at each and every business and you say, okay, what does this business do? Do I understand the business? Am I able to predict this business cash flows? Is the business predictable? Does it have a future? Is the management team good? And then you go in and you calculate its intrinsic value. And then if it's worth $20, but it's trading at $5, then that's great. But if it's, worth $5 and it's trading at $20, then, it's overvalued. It doesn't get as, easy as it doesn't get as easy as this, guys. It's really simple, but a lot of people complicate it, right? I mean, I understand retail investors have just so many disadvantages on Wall Street, which we've pretty much cured this disadvantage. But the one advantage that everyone has is that you don't have to report to anyone but yourself. You are the captain of your own portfolio. You don't have quarterly results or yearly results to present to clients. But yet I see a lot of just retail investors succumb to this type of mentality and thinking. How you doing? How you doing? Hello. So, and unfortunately, it's a bit of a disease because the only advantage that you have, you're foregoing it because you're trying to compare yourself. And it's a great advantage because you don't have to do the yearly progress. I would say 5-year progress, right? You find a company that's undervalued, okay, and it's doing well, then you wait. You wait 5, 10 years, it's gonna come, right? If your thesis is correct. It's a simple investment thesis. You put it out there and you wait for it to come true. There's a lot of distractions in the market. In fact, I just spoke with someone on the Reddit page and they were saying, how Bitcoin moved up a lot, so they sold their share position in one of the companies that I have high confidence in is Clover, and they just went ahead and purchased Bitcoin and they made money on it. Okay, so you have to always ask yourself. So the person said, well, always have to ask yourself and think about this for a sec and say, why did this person why did you sell? You just sold your investment thesis for Clover and you just bought Bitcoin because it went up. Okay, well, how many stocks are going to end up going? Oh, Bitcoin is not a stock. It's not even, it's not something it doesn't generate any future free cash flows. People are just going on to it because of ETFs, because they know they're going to sell it to someone higher that wants it. And that's not how people like Warren invest. And, the person sold this company because another asset or another like tradable asset or security, let's be specific, and a tradable security was going higher. How many times do you think this person is going to do this until they lose their money? Right? I mean, how many times? You have to think about this in 5-10 years, unless you want to make a couple $1,000s and be happy and quit, right? And not go to Vegas, right? What we're trying to teach here is something sustainable, right? We're trying to teach you how these professionals that dedicate their lives to Wall Street conduct business. If you look at Bill Ackman, whom I look up to, he was the student of Warren Buffett for a long time. He went to all of his Berkshire Hathaway meetings and learned, asked questions. He was just really just great student. And now he's a leader. He has 8 pillars of success. And, it's, see if I can pull it up here. If I can pull up the success here real quick. I posted it, by the way, follow us on Twitter here or X. Yeah, here is his 8 pillars. And he has them engraved. And every time he moves away from these pillars, They get hurt. They get hurt. So the business must be simple and predictable. The company must be free cash flow generative. That's a big one, guys. This is something that I personally, when I look at companies, I try to estimate future free cash flows. But the issue is this is very dangerous, extremely dangerous, right? It must have a dominant market position. There must be big barriers of entry for competitors, like a moat. There must be a high return on capital, intrinsic value, right? When you calculate it, the company must have limited exposure to extrinsic risk that they can't control. The business must have a strong balance sheet and not need access to outside capital to survive. And the company must have an excellent management team and good governance. So the beautiful part about Mr. Bill Ackman here, if you go to our stock terminal and you go to the instructions for Brain Machine, we have the legendary investor here, Bill Ackman, in fact, our number one. You can look up exactly what companies he buys and sells. He owns Lowe's, he owns Chipotle, and most recently he just purchased Google when it dipped, when they fudged their AI bid against ChatGPT, OpenAI, and that's his AI play, right? But the companies he's buying are really high quality. Lowe's, which is predictable, Chipotle, I mean, it's a burrito company. He owns a couple of them, and so what we like to do is we like to look at these legendary investors and see what they're buying. You see, it's really not that hard. You see what these hedge funds are buying, and they have to report every 3 months. We know what they're buying, and we know what price they bought it at, right? And then you do your intrinsic value calculation to see why they bought it. And then if you can ascertain the value, then you just purchase it and you just hold it until it reaches its value or the thesis and the fundamentals change. I'm looking at all of these financial, like Yahoo Finance, Seeking Alpha, Bloomberg Terminal. They give you the data, and sometimes they don't even give you the right data like the way we give it to you. You can do the evaluation correctly. They just give it to you just nasty. It's just a bunch of data. But even then, even though they give you the data, they don't teach you how to use it. They don't show you what each and every one, they don't walk you through an example of, this is how Warren Buffett would look at a company. This is how Bill Ackman will look at it. But, they don't show you how to go from 0 to 1. And I think that's the void I wanted to fill within the retail community space. I mean, because I was thinking about it. I was like, one of my, because I just wanted to show folks about the intrinsic value. But the problem was like, well, then I had folks saying, where do I get this data? I'm like, you got to go, Temp Ranks to get the price targets. Okay, that's $50 a month. And you got to go to this place. And it got to a point where I'm just like, man, this is kind of complicated. They have to do 5 to 10 memberships. So then we basically said, frick it. We're going to go ahead and offer the price targets. We're going to offer the technical. We're just going to have it all, in a terminal. And then you could go ahead and do the analysis. But then we're going to show you how to do it. We're going to show you this is how it's done. And this is one strategy. Another thing I found, if people were to look at the Bloomberg terminal or, they go to Seeking Alpha, is that there isn't a community. They have a little chat bar on the bottom of every article that's posted. And that's their community there. You can't just go speak to someone and say, hey, can I chat with you in the internal Seeking Alpha video call and screen share? Well, guess what? We have that capability. We have hundreds of investors now and members of our stock terminal and lifetime course and lifetime course and software that they could meet every week, every month, regardless of whatever they schedule a time, and they can speak to each other and bounce off ideas. That's an asset within itself. So once, let's speak future, right? So once Clover reaches its price target, and there's going to be a lot of folks that are going to come into money. I mean, there's there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be really wealthy millionaires, and there's so the next goal is, well, how do I sustain this? I can't just go out there and blow it on Bitcoin or something. So how do we? So that's the beauty of the group. You guys can come together and talk, and you have the data to go through it, and you know how to go through it because you've been educated on what it means. And you create this investment hub where you're making the same investments as Bill Ackman, as Bill Miller, Bruce, Carl Icahn, Charles Munger, God bless him. We're going to end up removing this because it's he's no longer here with us. Chase Coleman, Chuck Ackery. I mean, these folks, if people don't know what these people are, so you can see who these people are. Let me show you who Chuck Ackery is. This is he's an investor. A lot of these folks are multi-billionaires. This particular person, let's look at his net worth. 3.3 billion. We have access to see what they're buying, right? And that's the beauty. We can analyze what they're buying, and then from there, pick the stocks that have the best value and the ones that we believe are going to be the best, and be able to invest in them, and not have to wait a year. We could not have to report to investors in a quarter or a year to show them how much alpha we generated over the S&P. We could just wait until it goes to its intrinsic value. And then it's such a beautiful game, right? Utilizing the advantages you have. Like, for example, people that, we have doctors, lawyers, people that are truckers. A lot of folks are on our platform, and you guys carry just amazing amounts of data about your jobs, and your jobs, what they buy. Just you're able to understand. Like, for example, I had someone I was talking to regarding Costco, and he said, I've been working at Costco for 20 years, 25 years. I'm just letting you know now, the stock is about to double. What we're about to do right now is insane, right? He works there, right? Can you call this insider information? I mean, I didn't make the trade, so I guess not. And he's just a worker. He was just saying, but it just cares to show you what you as an employee have, and the advantage that you have in knowing what your company uses. Or just go look around in your house, see what products you're using, see maybe you might have changed a product, and you might say, wow, I'm really using this a lot. Potentially this may be actually useful. Let me see if it's publicly traded. Let me analyze their financials, and for example, was it Colgate Total, the toothpaste company? I don't even know what the names are. Look at their free cash flow. Analyze them. Are they? I mean, people are going to always have to brush their teeth, right? I mean, it's not like they can stop brushing their teeth. You know what I mean? So there's just so many different ways to invest. The one I just talked about was more Peter Lynch's way. That's how he likes to invest and generate alpha. But I just wanted to share with you this idea and vision on where we're going to go, because there's going to be platforms, I'm sure, that are going to look nice and have all the beautiful bolts and whistles, and our platforms looks pretty damn good too. But at the end of the day, does the person who created the platform know, does that person, has he been on Wall Street for a long time? Does he understand the ins and outs? Has he have the experience to analyze companies, and instead of just showering people with just a bunch of data that won't help you? It just makes you feel better, like you're getting a good deal, when in reality it'll hurt you. If you look at how I look at companies, I only use a couple of metrics. There's a lot of economic data I look at and whatnot, but it's really a couple of few metrics. Again, this whole time I've been talking to you, I'm just showing you a picture of Warren Buffett and his desk. Look at his desk. There's no computers there. You don't need a lot to make money on Wall Street. You just have to have this, the head, the brain, and a quiet space. Okay, so let's see here. I got a comment. Speaking of Ackman, what do you think now of the 2-10-30 spread? Yeah, I mean, the 4-year's coming down. It's breaking its technical analysis here. I think, long term, 5 years from now, again, I'm not even going to speak in years anymore, like next year or quarter. In 5 years, I think we're going to cut rates. I know it's going to be sooner, CME watch tool and everything, but I screw all that, right? I know we're going to go to Tahiti. Okay. We could go tomorrow. We can go 6 months from now. We can go, but I know we're going to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my bag ready. I'm going to get my investments in check. So, I know that Clover is going to become free cash flow positive. I know they're going to start integrating their AI, and they're going to double down on their AI. They just switched CEOs to a technologist as a company running it. They're getting themselves ready. And I don't know. It could be tomorrow. It could be 6 months from now. It could be a year, right? I'm using my advantage as a retail investor. I can wait, right? And then once my thesis comes into fruition, then I've generated alpha. I was able to generate alpha. The problem with Chamath is he has a lot of pressure. He was comparing himself to Warren Buffett. Then Warren Buffett outperformed 1 year, and he said, "Screw it, we can't compare ourselves. We're in a different class." And then he probably lost investors, lost people wanting to invest in him in social capital. That's a lot of pressure on the man, guys. Right? Again, he has to perform quarterly and yearly. We don't have to perform like that, guys. We can wait 5 years, 10 years until our thesis comes true. Right? And that's how you find opportunities, right? So that's all I have for you guys. I just wanted to just send you this idea, right? Right? So let's see here. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. God bless each and every one of you. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. And to close it off here, take advantage, ladies and gentlemen, of our Happy New Year special. Speaking of New Year's, take advantage of it. We will be increasing prices after the holidays because this data isn't cheap. So that's all I have for you guys on this one. It was a pleasure speaking with you. And really, the motto, the motto is quite simple, and it really is the motto here, right? Wall Street data unlocked. We teach, you profit. That's literally what it is. Not only do we provide the data, we teach you how to use this data. We show you If you go to any other platform, no, they're not educational because they don't know how to use the data. They're just giving you the data like Las Vegas, like a casino. They're just giving you the ship. They're giving you the ship and they're expecting you to know how to sail. And if you watch the beginning part of this video, I stated in the beginning, you can have the most fanciest ship in the world. But if the captain doesn't know how to sail, you will not go anywhere. So, definitely hope I communicated this in the best endeavor. And I really appreciate it, Jackson. Solid deal would buy again. I appreciate you for supporting our mission into teaching folks just how to simply just invest like this guy. Invest like Bill Ackman. Do we veer off a little bit in terms of the negative free cash flow estimations? Yeah, because that's a great way to generate high alpha. Is Clover going to be free cash flow? Of course. Their MCR for Medicare side, insurance side is 80%. They're profitable there. In my eyes, they just got to shut off the unprofitable crap, and then they're a profitable business and double down on growth in there. Once they basically show their business model, which they've already proven to me in the insurance side, then they can get more funding to double down on that and grow and outcompete Humana and United Healthcare. And who knows, perhaps maybe Humana and United Healthcare reached out to them and said, hey, we'll use your Clover Assistant if you don't come after us. And it's a win for you and it's a win for us. Who knows? That's speculation there, right? Overall, guys, it's a privilege and honor, and I'll see you on the next one.